up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, and we give our takes on AEW. It's Thursday night, November 17th, 2022. You're probably like, what are you doing on a Thursday night talking about AEW? We got a pay-per-view on Saturday to talk about. That's what we're doing. And we got the full squad tonight. Wesley Williams back for a second night in a row. And we got Cameron Johnson on the Big Fight Field channel tonight. My man Cam, what's up, dude?
What's going on, man? I am so happy to be back on Big Fight Field channel. Now, I know there are a lot of people that probably clicked on this review, saw my face, and immediately turned it off. I don't know what I did to you, but for those of you that did not do that, thank you, man. I promise you, this is not going to be an every week thing. I promise you, this is not going to be an every week thing. Yeah, this ain't going to be an every week thing, but man, golly, I've already talked some Full Gear, man. This pay-per-view this Saturday looks absolutely stacked. My job gave me Saturday off so I could watch Full Gear. There's no way in hell I was missing the show. I would have called out if I had to. I would have faked something. I would have faked some sort of illness, something. I was not missing the show. Man, my God. Man, this show looks absolutely stacked, and I'm ready. I'm ready to talk about some Full Gear.
Oh man, I don't blame you. It's good to have you back. I know you're working a lot on Wednesday night, so you're not really on the channel as much now, which hey, that's all good, man. You got to make that money, but man, it's good to have you back tonight. Wes, long time no see.
Yeah, yeah. It's been such a long time since I was last year on Big Five Field. I mean, how has it been? I mean, what 24 hours maybe? I mean,
Around
gosh,
there.
so many hours just gone by. I haven't been on here, but man, it is great to be back here talking for the preview and predictions for Full Gear this Saturday night. Boys, we're just 2 nights away from a big show happening in Newark, New Jersey. Going to be a big night, big crowning moment set to happen that evening, man. I mean, we're going to see a lot of crazy stuff happen, and I can't wait for it. And I'm very happy to have the full squad back here to talk Full Gear, man. It's only right, it's only fitting that we talk pay-per-views with the full squad intact.
For sure, man. And before we get into all the matches, I don't really pay attention much to the wrestling community now on Twitter nowadays. But from what I see, there are some folks out there that have problems and are complaining about the Full Gear pay-per-view, which I may say some of the matches on the show, I might not care about that much. Some of the story might not be great. But folks, you look at this card up and down. Um, I think this looks way better than All Out did. I thought All Out was a good show, but there was just a lot of matches on there that had no story and that I just personally didn't care about. So I personally think the Full Gear card looks better. Tony Khan said today on a media call that the pay-per-view should end at a reasonable time. I hope he's right. I hope this pay-per-view does not drag out till 12:30. Please, that's way too long. Um, if we have a short match here or there, I'll be perfectly okay with that. So, but fellas, we got 10 matches to talk about. But before we get into that, if you have not already, be sure to go ahead and check out last night's AEW Dynamite review from myself and Wesley Williams here on the channel. And we talk about the face-to-face MJF against John Moxley last night. The return of the Elite, not really their return, but, them being revealed that they will be taking on the Death Triangle at Full Gear, and all that and so much more on the Big Fight Fuel channel. And speaking of the Elite versus the Death Triangle, that's going to be the first match we talk about, actually, because I think fellas, you want to start a pay-per-view hot, I think this is the match to do it. So this is going to be the first match we talk about. You know, Mr. Cam, you weren't on here to talk about this match last night. I'm going to give you the floor first. I'm going to let you make the first prediction for this match. My friend, go ahead.
Okay. Well, first off, man, I want to talk about that trios match last night with Top Flight and AR Fox against against Death Triangle, man, because that match is absolutely insane. And it looks like AR Fox has signed the AEW, so he got some sort of AEW deal. I am very happy about that. I have been an AR Fox fan going back to his days, going back to his days in Lucha Underground when he had that, when he was feuding with Swerve, when he was feuding with Swerve with Killshot. So so I'm very happy he signed. But looking at this match here, man, this match is gonna. Oh God, this match has the potential to steal the show. I cannot wait for it. This match has the potential to kill the show. I cannot wait for it. But I think the Elite win their titles back because I don't think the Elite were supposed to drop the titles. I don't think the Elite were supposed to drop the titles. We had the whole situation. We had the whole situation happen at All Out, and due to circumstances out of the Elite's control, they got suspended. They got suspended, so they had to be stripped. But now they're back. I think the Elite win back their titles. I think the Elite win back their titles, and I'm going one step further. I think the Elite win their trio. I think the Elite win the trios titles back, and I think we start to see some cracks form in Death Triangle. I don't want to say the split is coming. I don't want to say the split is coming, but I think it's the first step of it. But I think it's the first step of Death Triangle split, and we've seen it. We've seen it happen on AEW. We've seen it happen on AEW television. Pac, Pac using the hammer, Pac using the hammer of Orange Cassidy to hold on to the All Atlantic, to hold on to the All Atlantic title. Pac wanting Phoenix and Penta to use, and Phoenix and Penta are like, no, the Phoenix and Penta are like, no, we're not going to use that. We don't win that way. So just based off what's been happening on television, I think the Elite wins, and I think we start to see the first cracks in Death Triangle. I think the Death Triangle split is coming soon. I think the Death Triangle split is coming soon, but I think the Elite win their titles back.
Man, I didn't even think about them splitting up. I mean, they've kind of had cracks, I guess. I mean, from keeping up with television and seeing the past couple weeks, Pac did say that, we have to keep the trios titles by any means necessary. So, I mean, I guess I actually haven't even thought about that. Now, Cam, me and Wes talked about this a little bit last night. Do you like the fact that the Elite are coming off a suspension and they're being plucked right into a trios title match on pay-per-view?
I don't mind it because the Elite didn't do shit. I don't mind it because the Elite didn't do shit. Based off reports, based off reports and everything, the Elite, based on reports and everything, the Elite didn't do shit. You know how it's like. You know how it's like when let's say I'm a bully, right? Let's say I'm a bully and I'm bullying Big West. Let's say I'm a bully and I'm bullying Big Western and I'm taking his lunch money. This is totally realistic, by the way. This would happen in real life if I ever met Wesley, by the way. I'll bully him and I would take his lunch money. And so let's say Wesley gets sick of it, right? And Wesley just whoops my ass completely, right? Not only am I gonna get suspended because I instigated the fight, but Wesley's gonna get suspended too. When you look at it, it's like, well, why is Wesley get suspended? He didn't do shit. Why is Wesley get suspended? He didn't do shit. That's how I like to think of this whole. That's how I like to think of this whole Elite situation, of this whole Elite Punk situation. The Elite didn't do shit. From all the reports that came out, it was all Punk. The Elite didn't do shit. So the Elite coming back winning the trios titles. I know they're coming back from suspension, but it's not like I know they're coming back from suspension, but they didn't do shit. So put the championships back on the Elite. That's what I say. They ain't do shit anyway. They're being punished for no reason.
Yeah, I guess you're right in that case. Wes, go ahead, man.
Yeah, I completely agree with Cameron saying. I love the comparison you made this there too. That was good. Yeah, I'm in full agreement though. I think the Elite are winning the titles back. I think with that suspension that they had to serve, I think that them giving the trios titles to Death Triangle was almost, I think it was kind of also a consolation prize for them too, because they're one of the greatest acts you got in your company. I mean, talk about three guys that go out there and they steal the show. I mean, you look no further than Pac and the Lucha Brothers, and I think it was something that it was a great plan B in my opinion when it came to crowning them the trios champions, to hold down the fort in AEW while the Elite served their suspension. And now that the Elite are coming back to fight Death Triangle Saturday night for those trios titles, I think it's only right They give the titles back to the Elite. They serve their suspension like they were supposed to. The punishment's over, and now we can resume what was the original plan with the Elite before the whole press conference debacle happened. I think they're going to just try and resume things. And I like Cameron's point too about how we'll see more cracks form within the Death Triangle. I could definitely see that happening with Pac using heel-like tactics to retain the All Atlantic title, multiple times against Orange Cassidy until, of course, he ended up losing the title to Orange. But, I definitely could see Pac, going into a darker route. And Pac, as we know, is great as a heel anyway. He even as a face, he really wasn't full-fledged baby face either. Pac is Pac. He's a bastard. At the end of the day, the dude is a bastard. He's going to beat the shit out of anybody that steps in his way. So I could see definitely more cracks form after this is all said and done. But I'm also going with the Elite to become I guess you could say, 2-time trios champion, since this will be their second time winning those titles. So,
yeah, I'm in agreement. I gotta take the Elite as well. I'm pretty sure. Basically, maybe it's just a prediction, but I do feel like, if the suspension didn't happen with the Elite, I do think this would still be the pay-per-view match at Full Gear. Them defending the trios titles against the Death Triangle, the two of the top factions in AEW. And yeah, I'm going to take the Elite. We talked about this a little bit last night. I would like to see the Elite go heel. I just think they're better as heels than they are as baby faces, but I don't know, man. I feel like with the whole backstage thing and the press conference, just thinking about it a little bit, I could see them staying as baby faces, maybe just for a little bit, but at some point, maybe I would like to see them go back heel. But I do think Pac and the Lucha Bros are going to start teasing their split. Once they probably more than likely drop the titles, there's really nothing much you can do with them as a trio. They've had feuds with the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy. They had that long extended feud with the House of Black. There's really nothing much you can do with them after they lose to the trios titles. You can get Penta and Phoenix back in the tag team division. You can get Pac in the singles division. Maybe going for a world title or competing to contend for a world title. Because he's too good. He's too good not to be in the main event. So, the split, it makes sense. Pac's using heel-like tactics. The Lucha Bros aren't buying into it. So, I'm going to take the Elite, and I think they get their titles back Saturday night. It's been 5 years since Saraya has last had her match, and she's going to have her first match in 5 years against Britt Baker. This is a match I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to seeing how Saraya is going to be in there in the ring against Britt Baker. Wes, I'm going to give this one to you first.
Yeah, definitely a big time match here. I love the promo Britt gave last night backstage on Dynamite. I thought that was excellent, and of course the promo battle they had the week prior. I thought that was very, very well done as well. And so I think they've done a solid job building up this match. And of course, the big question is how will Saraya look? This will be her first match in 5 years. I'm sure there'll be some ring rust in there, but hopefully we'll end up having a very entertaining bout between the two. But I feel like when it comes to who wins this match, I feel like the right choice is Saraya, in my opinion. I think Saraya, this is her first match back in 5 years. And I feel like you should give her a win here. And really, if she's back wrestling full time again, I think this is, a great way to, get her up there into the rankings for either one of the women's titles, whether it's a TBS title or the women's world title. And it's just overall great to see Saraya back, and I'm hoping everything goes well. But I think Saraya is the right choice. Britt Baker, if she loses, she doesn't lose anything. If she's Britt Baker, she's already it's been made very clear to us that she is pretty much the top woman in all of AEW. And I don't think her status will be affected in any way if she loses this match. So I got Saraya with the dub on Saturday night.
And I agree. This is her first match in 5 years. And she can't lose. It's just not possible. Um, that's like the match that Bryan Danielson had back at WWE, his first match in how many years when he teamed with Shane McMahon to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I forget what the stipulation was, but it's like, Bryan's coming back to wrestle he's been out for a very long time. He's not losing, especially on WrestleMania. It's like this stage, big stage, AEW pay-per-view. Um, she can't lose, and you know, um, I would like to see her maybe go on a nice streak after this, but big match, 5 years, she can't lose. Britt Baker, if she loses, she's gonna lose absolutely nothing. At the end of the day, she's still Britt Baker. You're right, unfortunately, Wes. I've kind of left the Britt Baker hype train over the past couple months. I think I've left a hype train. I'm not really on it anymore. But no matter what, she's one of the top females on the entire AEW roster, and she's going to lose nothing from this loss. So I'm going to take Saraya. I am looking forward to the match. I do think it's going to be a little bit slow for Saraya's first match in 5 years, but I'm gonna take her. I'm gonna take Saraya for the win. Cam, what are your insights?
Oh, shocking. Britt Baker has not won a singles match in AEW. Going back to May, I think, her match with Ruby Soho. She has not won a singles match since then. So that is very, very, very shocking. I mean, it may have been the only singles match she's had. I don't know. That's been very, very shocking to me. But in terms of wins this, Saraya has to win this match. She just has to. Britt Baker's bulletproof. Britt Baker's bulletproof. Britt Baker loses nothing at all losing to Saraya. It is Saraya's first match back. It is Saraya's first match back wrestling. I, for one, am curious to see how Saraya does, and I, for one, am curious to see how Saraya does, how she pulls this off. She is clear. She is clear, although part of me is still very worried. Although part of me still is very worried because she just came from having spinal stenosis and all, and she just came having spinal stenosis and all that. So part of me is very worried, but I'm also very intrigued to see how she does in this match here. I have no doubt that putting her in the ring with Britt Baker is probably the safest opponent she can get coming for her first match back. I think the build up to this match has been excellent. And I think Saraya has to win her first match back. She just has to. So Saraya is getting the win here.
Yep. Seems like we're all on the same track on that one for sure. So, steel cage match. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry. They're now calling him Jack Perry on television now, by the way. Jack Perry against Luchasaurus. These guys fought one time in Toronto, and Luchasaurus got the win. I'm kind of having trouble getting into this match. Feels like the feud's dragging just a little bit for me, but steel cage prevents Christian from interviewing, I guess. I'm gonna take Jungle Boy in this David versus Goliath match. I'm going to take Jungle Boy to win. I think it'll be a good match. I'm excited to see how the match is, but I don't know, man. I just don't care about it that much. Personally, I just don't care about it that much. Cam, we'll give it to you. We'll give this one to you.
Jungle Boy wins. I think Jungle Boy wins this match here. I think Jungle Boy wins. I think Jungle Boy wins this match against Luchasaurus. Continues to feud with Christian Cage. Continues to feud with Christian Cage. And I think Jungle Boy wins here. So I'm going with Jungle Boy.
Wes?
Yep, I as well got Jungle Boy getting the win over Luchasaurus in the steel cage match. Should be a fun one. I'm not sure. I guess since this would be their second time, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy face off, and Jungle Boy would get the win this time. I imagine there would be a rubber match somewhere down the line, and I'm not sure what the status is on Christian and his injury and how much longer he's out. But hopefully the sooner we can get Jungle Boy and Christian, the better, because I'd like to see Jungle Boy get moved on to bigger and better things. And hopefully Luchasaurus as well can stay up in that kind of upper echelon as well, considering that now he's a monster heel. They've made him look really good alongside Christian. Christian being, pretty much the pallbearer to the Kane in a pretty much. And I think it's been really good. But yeah, I think Jungle Boy has to get the win here, to get the big pay-per-view win over Luchasaurus. But it should be a fun one.
I want to see how they're going to protect Luchasaurus, because I don't think Luchasaurus should lose clean. He's got him and Christian have such a good presentation, and I love the pairing. I'm glad that Luchasaurus went back to that thing with Christian Cage. Go ahead, Cam.
I was just gonna say, since it's a cage match, they could always do the thing. Since it's a cage match, they could always do the thing where like Jungle Boy. They could always do a thing where like Jungle Boy, where like Jungle Boy barely escapes the cage or something. Like he escapes the cage with his life or something. But like at the same time, though, as I mentioned it, I kind of think that make Jungle Boy look. I kind of think that would make Jungle Boy look weak. Like am I wrong? Because I don't know about you guys. It's just me. I hate cage matches, especially with the heel. I hate cage matches where you have like the heel in there, and where you have like the heel in there, and they're trying to escape the cage. Like I cannot stand the shit. I cannot stand that shit. I guess it is like a chicken shit heel that works. But like having like a baby face have to like escape the cage and all that. I hate that shit with passion. I hate it. So I hate that shit with passion. I hate it. I just it makes them look weak. But you could always have Jungle Boy escape the cage or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a reason. That could more than likely be a reason. So, I mean, they could also come up with something very creative with both of them on the outside, and Christian sets up a table and some shit like that. I don't know. Maybe Luchasaurus chokeslams Jungle Boy onto the ground, with Jungle Boy winning, but at the same time, Luchasaurus also damages Jungle Boy a lot. So we'll see what happens with that. But we're all in agreement. Jungle Boy wins.
Yeah.
Sounds good. TBS Championship, Nyla Rose against Jade Cargill. Jade Cargill, I'm sorry. I don't care. How many times have we seen this story where the challenger steals the championship for months and they lose it at the pay-per-view? I'm sorry. I don't care. No offense. I just don't care. I'm gonna take Jade Cargill. Wes?
Yeah, Jade Cargill as well. This is definitely the weakest match on the card, in my opinion. I mean, who cares? I mean, you also made a second TBS title for no reason. I don't get the whole thing with two titles. They did it with the TNT title for the longest time. They also kind of did it with the AEW title. It's like, what are you going to make another pair of tag titles or another pair of trios titles? It's like what is the deal with the replica titles? It's like, I don't know, man, but yeah, I just haven't been interested in this whole thing. I think I'm kind of just ready to move on to other stuff with the TBS title. I just kind of feel like this stuff is just dragging now. I mean, really, the only thing that's really going for the TBS title is Jade's undefeated streak. If it wasn't for that, you'd have nothing there like that was actually going on. But yeah, I got Jade retaining over Nyla Rose. Don't see Nyla Rose winning the TBS title, the real TBS title. I don't see it happening. So Jade retains.
Cam?
Jade Cargill retains. Although I will say, I think the one positive of this storyline is us allowing to see Nyla Rose's personality, like the one that she shows on Twitter, actually be showcased on television. I think that has been tremendous because I think Nyla Rose, what she's been given, I think what Nyla Rose has been given in the storyline, and on this storyline sucks complete ass. I think what she's been given in the storyline, I think she's been able to make it work, and I think she's been able to make it funny. So I do like that. The fact that we're seeing more of the Twitter side of Nyla Rose out on AEW television. And I will roll with this. Just keep Nyla Rose as a babyface. But yeah, Jade Cargill is retaining the TBS title. That's all I got to say.
Let's move on to the Ring of Honor World Championship. We have Bryan Danielson versus Claudio Castagnoli versus Sammy Guevara versus the world champion Chris Jericho. I know me and Wes talked about this last night, but I don't know about you, Cam. This is yet another feud that I just want to move on from. I'm tired of seeing a combination of matches between the Blackpool Combat Club and the JAS. I want something else. I want something fresh. I hope this is it. Really do, because it's too much. It's going on for so long. Um, you know, I do like Jericho as the Ring of Honor World Champion. I love the story that they're telling with Jericho, and he's not showing honor to the world title at all. He took out the ring announcer. He took out Ian Riccaboni, mocked him by putting on his glasses, then giving him a Judas effect. So I do think that they're telling a good story with that. Having him beat former Ring of Honor world champions. I'm okay with that storyline. I think it's good. I think they're going to keep it going. I think Chris Jericho retains. Simple as that. Cam?
Uh, I got a question about this following before we get started. What the hell is Sammy Guevara in this match, not Daniel Garcia? Let's respect the Sammy Guevara. What was he in this match, not Daniel Garcia? That's all I want to know. That's all I want to know. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to put Danny G in this match than Sammy Guevara? That's no disrespect to Sammy Guevara at all. But like Daniel Garcia in this spot would have made much more sense. I don't know what the hell happened to Daniel Garcia. He should be in this match, not Sammy Guevara. But I think you look at the options here. I think it's Jericho retains. I think Jericho retains the Ring of Honor title. And sadly, I don't think this is the end of JAS and the Blackpool Combat Club because Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view December 10th, the same day as NXT Deadline. The same day as NXT Deadline, for those of you that don't know, called Final Battle. And I'm assuming the Ring of Honor Championship is going to be defended on that show. And you look at the roster, Danielson and Claudio are really the only two people that kind of make sense for Jericho to face. So I got a feeling this is not going to be over. But I think Jericho's retaining. I think Jericho's retaining the title. I don't know who he faces at Final Battle. They need to find that out because Final Battle's coming up in like 3 weeks. But I think Jericho retains the title.
Cam? Oh, I'm sorry, Wes?
Oh, you're good. Yeah, I also got Jericho retaining. Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, me and you talked about it. Yeah, I'm ready to move on from this. But yeah, Cam, I like your point though. I now with Final Battle coming up in a few weeks, they do need a Ring of Honor World Title match, and I do believe we'll probably get Jericho and Danielson most likely. But yeah, I agree with you also that Daniel Garcia should have been put in the spot. Joseph, me and you talked about. I mean, where did Daniel Garcia go? Like, why did we all of a sudden? Why is he all of a sudden written off television? I don't get it. Like, it's just like you had him rejoin JAS for really no reason, and then he just is written off television now. It's like I mean, meanwhile, this guy was being built up as one of the biggest top young stars in your company, and then all of a sudden, that momentum, AEW just pulled the leash back big time on Daniel Garcia and was like, nope, hold on, nope, we're not gonna push you that hard right now, which I don't get it. And then Daniel Garcia, he is still pure champion too, so I don't know what he could do with a pure championship going into Final Battle, but we'll probably talk about that as we get into that in a few weeks and all that, but I'm just ready for Ring of Honor to have their own TV show. Really, it's time. I don't know what's going on, what the holdup is. I don't know what the status is on it. But the sooner they get a Ring of Honor television show, the better, because I'm really tired of these Ring of Honor. I love Jericho as Ring of Honor champion. I think he's done a great job. Jericho's has been Chris Jericho. He's entertaining, every time he steps in front of a camera. So, but I'm ready for them to just have a Ring of Honor show to where we can see the guys like Samoa Joe, Daniel Garcia, Chris Jericho, guys like that on that show, and the stable with Brian Cage and all of them. I want them on that show and not them taking up time on AEW shows on Dynamite and Rampage. Even though I'm not watching Rampage anymore, don't take more time on there, So.
Yeah, I agree. At least have your own. At least have it on YouTube. I guarantee you, people would watch if the beginning of the show. If you don't have a channel for it yet, I guarantee you, people would go on YouTube and watch the show weekly. I guarantee.
I pitched something. I pitched something like this. I don't know if it was on the reviews or not. But I pitched something like this. You know how Impact. You know how Impact has a thing where like you can watch like Impact on YouTube for like $2 a month. I think it is something like that. As like a channel member. I don't know why AEW doesn't do that. Or I don't know why AEW doesn't do that. Doesn't do that with Ring of Honor. Just use the Dark Studio that you use. Use the AEW Dark Studio that you use in Florida. Turn that into like the Ring of Honor show. Turn that into like a Ring of Honor studio. Record it like Ring of Honor television there. Record it like 4 weeks, or record it like 4 or 5 weeks worth of television on Ring of Honor programming at that, at the venue they use to record Dark once a month. Once a month, and just charge. I guarantee you, AEW fans, especially if it's like $5 a month. I guarantee you, wrestling fans would pay that $5 a month to watch Ring of Honor week. To watch Ring of Honor week. I don't know why they haven't done that. It's just.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I don't want to see Ring of Honor on AEW anymore. And I do think what would have been a better storyline for this match, there's also tension between Yuta and Bryan Danielson. Have the two veterans and the two young guys in that match, and Sammy and Claudio could have their own match on the 0 hour or something. I don't know, but that would be a good story for that match. But I mean, we're getting what we're getting. But I do think the match is going to be good, but I don't know. I'm having a hard time caring, and the outcome's very obvious. So, but one of the matches I am looking forward to the most is 3 big meaty men going at it for the TNT title. And me and Wes brung this up last night, and we'll bring it up again. This is the first time that the TNT title is being defended on pay-per-view since All Out 2021. It's about time. It's about time. Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Wardlow. I'm going to give this one to Cam first, and then Wes, because I actually don't know who's going to win this match.
My prediction is they put the championship on Big Powerhouse Hobbs. That's what I want to see happen. That's what I want to see happen. That's what I think is going to happen. Hey, it's time. It's time to get some championship gold on Will Hobbs, man. It's time to get some championship gold on Will Hobbs. First off, Wardlow's CNT championship run. I don't know about you guys, but to me at least, it has been a colossal. It has been a massive disappointment. My God, has Wardlow's run as CNT champion been a disappointment? Has been a disappointment to me. In my opinion, it just doesn't. In my opinion, it doesn't feel like Wardlow matters as CNT champion. That might be like too far. That might be like too far to say. That might be like a blasphemous thing to say. But like I don't know. He's the TNT champion. I don't know. He's the TNT champion. You would think he would be. You would think he would have shown more often or have more TNT title open challengers more often, and he doesn't for some reason. But I'm ready. Put this championship on Will Hobbs. Put this championship on Will Hobbs and give Will Hobbs a Miro type run with the TNT title. That's what I want to see. Have Will Hobbs come out. Have Will Hobbs when he wins the title. Because Will Hobbs is winning. He better win the title. Have Will Hobbs when he wins the title. Come out on Dynamite in Chicago next week and have him go. I ain't running from nobody's TNT champion. If you want this smoke, you know what it meet me. If you want this smoke, you know what it meet me. Let's do it. I'll defend this championship. I'll defend this championship every week if I have to. I'm gonna prove to y'all that I'm like. I'm gonna prove to y'all that I'm like that. I'm gonna prove to y'all ain't nobody in the back can fuck with Powerhouse Hobbs. That's what I want to see. So put that chance. That's what I want to see. And I think Will Hobbs is winning the title. I think Will Hobbs is winning the title, and I think that leaves Wardlow to challenge Samoa Joe for the television title at Final Battle. But I got Will Hobbs winning the TNT title.
Wes?
I might have to piggyback off of what you just said, Cam. I think it might be time to put the strap on Powerhouse Hobbs. I mean, you look at the presentation of Hobbs now too. I mean, the entrance alone. I mean, that's a superstar right there. You got a super, like, just by that entrance alone that he has now. I mean, like, there's your next superstar right there, Powerhouse Hobbs. And This should be a very entertaining big man matchup. I mean, Wardlow doing the salt over the ropes this past or last night on Dynamite, man. I mean, that was like a little tease of what we could be getting on Saturday. And man, if that's a little tease of what we could get, I mean, this should be one of the matches of the night for sure. But I think as well, I'm going to go with Hobbs winning the title. I think Wardlow's, his run is. I think it's about time we do a bit of a change. And I don't think his run has been. Could his run have been better? Yes, it could have been better. I'm not going to sit here and say it was an amazing run or anything. They really cooled down Wardlow a lot throughout this run. I mean, you look back at like before he won the team title, how red hot he was coming off the win against MJF at Double or Nothing. They really should have taken advantage more on that. And when he won the TNT title, and they should have had better challenges for him instead of him like kicking the shit out of Arya Daivari for it's just I think they could have done better, but I think overall it was an okay run. It was solid, and I think him dropping the title to Powerhouse Hobbs is a good move, and I definitely could see coming up in Final Battle. I could see Joe and Wardlow going at it for the Ring of Honor television show. I think that'd be a great match to book for that card for Final Battle in a few weeks. So I could definitely see that happening. But I'm going to go with the title change. I say Powerhouse Hobbs becomes the brand new TNT champion.
Oh, man. See, this is tough to call for me. If it was a one-on-one match and Samoa Joe hasn't turned yet, I'm taking Powerhouse Hobbs thanks to Samoa Joe costing Wardlow. But the turn already happened, and now we're getting a triple threat match. And for some reason, I'm going to go with my head on this one. My head's telling me that they haven't done enough with Wardlow as TNT champion, and they're still going to continue with it after Full Gear. I do think Powerhouse Hobbs is going to get that TNT championship very soon, but I don't think it's going to be Saturday. And I do think that Wardlow's going to keep that title a little bit longer. Not very long, though, but I do think that he will keep that TNT title. I could see him defending it against Samoa Joe at Final Battle while Samoa Joe defends the Ring of Honor television title, something like that. Make it a winner take all. But with the triple threat stipulation, I just don't think Wardlow's going to lose. So I'm going to go opposite with you guys, and I'm going to take the War Dog on this one. I'm going to take Wardlow to retain the TNT championship. But I do think this is a top 3 match of the night that I'm really looking forward to. I think these three are going to kill it. I'm really excited for this match. Then we got Sting and Darby Allin against Jay Lethal and Double J Jeff Jarrett. Pretty simple. I'm gonna take Sting and Darby. Darby Allin's been getting his ass kicked this entire feud against Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt and Jeff Jarrett. He's been getting his ass kicked the entire time. I think it's time he gets a one-up, and more than likely he's gonna get the win with Sting. I think it'll be a good match. It makes sense with the whole feud being about friendship. 10 minutes max, maybe 10 minutes max for the match. And yeah, I'm gonna take Sting and Darby to beat Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett. Wes?
Yeah, I as well got Sting and Darby beating Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal. Should be good. I'm curious to see how Jeff Jarrett will do in this match. I haven't seen him wrestle in quite a long time. I didn't watch the Ric Flair last match. I didn't watch it. I know it was a train wreck. I just know that much. So I think it was best I don't go back and watch it to prepare myself for this tag match on Saturday. So, but I imagine Jarrett will probably look pretty good in there with Sting and Darby. I'm hoping it goes over well. But yeah, I think that it's a pretty obvious choice. Sting and Darby will win here over Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett. What happens after the fact, I don't know. But I think Sting and Darby are going to get the pay-per-view win here.
Cam?
Sting and Darby for the win. Darby Allin's going to get some revenge for Jeff Jarrett laying him up. First off, I just want to say, my respect to Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett is the best bag getter in all of pro wrestling. He might be the best bag getter in wrestling history. I know we call Kevin Nash the smartest man in wrestling. No, the smartest man in wrestling award goes to Jeff Jarrett. That man stay with the job, man. That man stay employed. Just look at what he did this year, man. Look at what he did this year. GCW. He did GCW. He did AAA. He went back to WWE. He did SummerSlam. He worked SummerSlam for WWE. He did Ric Flair's last match, and now he did Ric Flair's last match, and now he's in AEW, man. That man stay with the job, man. My shout out to Jeff Jarrett, man. I hope when I grow up, I'm able to stay with the job like Jeff Jarrett has been able to, because it has been absolutely incredible, man. The fact that this man continues to stay with the job, man. My respect to the ultimate bag getter. But I'm sorry. But I'm sorry. Darby Allin is winning this match. But I think this match will be worth it because we get to hear My World on pay-per-view. And Jeff Jarrett still has a banger TNA theme song. He still has a banger theme song. My God.
Yeah. Yep. Love the signing from Jeff Jarrett actually going to AEW. So, but yeah, Sting and Darby for the win. Jamie Hayter against Toni Storm for the AEW Women's Championship. I think this is going to be a really good match. I really do. And I think this is going to come to a conclusion with the Doctor accidentally costing Jamie Hayter this match, which, if y'all remember from All Out, Britt Baker yanked Jamie Hayter out of the ring so that she could save herself to win the Women's Championship over Jamie Hayter. I think she's going to try to help Jamie. It's going to come back to bite, and Jamie Hayter is going to snap on Britt Baker. And the Jamie Hayter face turn begins. And for that reason, I'm taking Toni Storm to retain, and I don't think it's time for her to lose yet. So, Cam?
Jamie Hayter. Toni Storm is retaining of the championship here. First off, I'm very happy that they're doing something with Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter has been very impressive. She's very, very over too. So I'm happy they're doing something with Jamie Hayter. But Toni Storm should retain. I just don't think the time's right to put the championship on Jamie Hayter. I think the better decision with Jamie would be to, do the split with Brett and have Jamie ultimately be the one to beat Jade Cargill for the TBS title. I think that would be the better route to go with her. But I think Toni Storm needs to retain this title here. Because I think Toni Storm so far is the women's champion. She should be the women's champion by now. Get rid of this interim bullshit. Get rid of this interim champion bullshit. She should just be the AEW women's champion. And Toni Storm should retain the women's championship. So I'm going with Toni.
Wes?
Deep down, I really would love to see Jamie Hayter become women's champion. I love Jamie Hayter, and she's garnered a lot of fan attraction to herself as well. A lot of people have been getting behind her for good reason. I mean, the woman is one of the best female wrestlers you'll find in the business today. Deep down, I want it, but I do believe as well that Toni Storm will retain the title. And I do believe whenever Thunder Rosa is cleared to come back, I do believe they still want to do Toni Storm versus Thunder Rosa to crown the official undisputed AEW Women's Champion. So I see Toni Storm retaining. And, I honestly, with Jamie Hayter losing this, I could very well see her be the only really legit challenger for Jade Cargill's TBS title, because Chris Statlander's still gone right now. I don't know really who else you have at this point. You've pretty much used everybody you can against Jade Cargill. Jamie Hayter's been one person you haven't used. I could very well see down the line, maybe we get a Jade Cargill, Jamie Hayter TBS title match, and maybe Jamie can win the TBS title at least. I could see that happening, but I would love to see her win Saturday. But again, I think Toni's going to end up retaining, but it should be a really good match. I'm very much looking forward to this. I think these two women are going to go in there. It's going to be hard hitting, and it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
The AEW, I'm also taking Toni Storm too. The AEW Tag Team Championships. Swerve and Out Glory against Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, the Acclaimed. This is the third match from this rivalry. Cam, did you see the music video last night?
Oh, the music video last night. I thought it was very funny. I was tempted to go on Twitter and tag my boy D Mills. Shout out D Mills, by the way, up through the wire. I was very tempted to ask him, Data. I was very tempted to ask him, did you appear in Keith Lee? Did you appear in the Acclaim music video last night? Because that looked an awful lot like D Mills. That looked an awful lot like D Mills last night. But yeah, I saw. I saw the music video. I thought it was very entertaining.
Who do you got winning this match?
I got Swerve in Our Glory. Not Swerve in Our Glory. I got the Acclaim winning. That's what I got winning. I think the Acclaim. I think it'd be way too soon to take the championships off the Acclaim. They just won them. The Acclaim just won the titles. I think it'd be way too soon. I think it would be way too soon to take the championships off the Acclaim. So I think the Acclaim to win, and I think with Lee and Swerve, I think it's obvious they're heading towards Splitsville. You know, Keith Lee is the baby face and Swerve is the heel. You know, it gives me, it gives me Sting and Lex Luger vibes from gives me a Sting and Lex Luger vibes from WCW. Where Sting was the white meat baby face, Lex Luger was the heel. Sting, Lex Luger was the heel. Sting tried to work with Lex Luger, but at the end of the day, Lex Luger ended up turning on Sting. I think that's what happens here. I think that's what happens here. I think the Acclaim win this match, and I think I think later on, not on the show per se, but I think in the next coming weeks, Swerve is going to cut Keith Lee loose. Swerve is going to cut Keith Lee loose. We're going to get a Swerve Keith Lee program, which is going to be fun. But I think the Acclaim are retaining the tag team titles as they should.
Yep, I agree. I think Swerve and Our Glory I think they're going to break up either at Full Gear or Dynamite on Wednesday. I think Swerve is going to turn on Keith Lee. Keith, me and Wes talked about this last night again. Keith Lee really hasn't acted like a heel in this feud. It's been all Swerve doing the heel work, acting like a true evil villain against the Acclaimed. And he's played really damn good as a heel during this feud against Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. I don't think they win. I think the Acclaimed need to retain the tag team titles because if they don't, there's going to be a riot in Newark, New Jersey, and we don't want that. So, but there's not going to be a riot because they're not going to lose the tag team titles. So I'm taking the Acclaimed on this one. Wes, who do you got and why?
I got the Acclaimed as well, retaining the tag titles. I think it's pretty obvious as well. The chemistry between these two teams is amazing. So I imagine we're going to get another banger of a match here this Saturday night between these two teams. And I'm with you guys as well. I mean, Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland are heading towards Splitsville. Whether it happens after the match on Saturday or it happens on the Dynamite following Full Gear, they're definitely breaking up as a tag team. But man, I gotta say though, the tag team run with those guys was fun. I mean, even though their tag title run together was brief, I mean that one match, at least the couple matches they've had against the Acclaimed, it really cemented their tag title run as like probably one of the best ones you'll see in recent memory because of just that feud alone. That just kind of made their whole tag title run. But the Acclaimed are going to be tag champions for the foreseeable future. I imagine they're going to get a pretty lengthy run. I mean, as they should. They other than MJF, these guys are the most overact in this company. And so it's only fair that you give these guys as much of a run as you can and put them over as two of the most legit guys you have in your company. So it should be a great one on Saturday, but I as well have the Acclaim retaining the AEW tag titles.
Yeah, there's no way that I see the Acclaim holding on to the tag team titles for less than 6 months. I think they'll be champions for at least 6 months, and they deserve it because, they've been one of the best things really in all of wrestling, in my opinion. I think these two teams are going to have – this is more than likely the final match of the feud. They're going to want to go out on an absolute banger. I thought their match at All Out was outstanding. I thought the match at Grand Slam was very good. Who knows, man? This match might top the All Out match. It could be, especially if the Acclaim wins, which more than likely that's the direction that they're going to go in. But I'm looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a great match. And I got the Acclaim winning, retaining the tag team titles. And then finally, it all came down to MJF against Jon Moxley. Is MJF going to become the AEW World Champion, carrying AEW into the future, into 2023? Wesley Williams, what's the answer?
Well, Joseph, I think the only correct answer in this situation, all this time we've been building up for this match to happen on Saturday night in Newark, New Jersey, main event AEW World Title, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, Jonathan Moxley. I think the only correct answer you have to go for is Mr. Salt of the Earth himself. Maxwell Jacob Friedman will be crowned the brand new AEW World Champion, and there's been a lot of different talks amongst the community about how it might go down. Will MJF use dirty tactics? Will he actually win clean? I don't know how it's going to go, but all I know is MJF will be crowned the new AEW World Champion by the end of the night. That is the top guy of your company. Jon Moxley has held the fort down in AEW for the past 3 years as the guy in AEW, and now it's time for that torch to be passed to the young 26-year-old salt of the earth, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF. It is his time. It is his crowning achievement. And now MJF will take that torch and carry it into the foreseeable future for All Elite Wrestling. The most overact, not only in AEW, the most overact you could say in all pro wrestling, arguably. You can arguably say he's the most overact in pro wrestling. Whenever MJF is on screen, you pay attention. Whether he's on the mic or he's in the ring, you pay attention. MJF is one of the greatest superstars to grace pro wrestling, I think, ever. And I mean, this guy's only 26. He's got a long career ahead of him. But the amount of work we've seen this man put in for AEW since day one has been amazing. And this is a guy who's been a true professional, who is stuck with AEW through thick and thin. And this is the crowning moment for him. This is it right here. MJF will be crowned the new AEW World Champion when he defeats Jon Moxley Saturday night in Newark, New Jersey.
Mr. Johnson, what's the answer?
Fuck that. Everybody talking about, MJF gonna win the title, MJF gonna win the title. Fuck that. Fuck that. Put the AEW title on William Regal, damn it. That's what I want to see. Regal, give Regal that world championship run he never had in his prime, damn it. That's what I want to see, damn it. William Regal as AEW champion. Just have him sit on commentary and make sexual overtones like Excalibur every week. I think that would be very highly entertaining. No, not seriousness stuff. I do think William Regal is going to play a factor in this match here, but I think it's obviously MJF is winning the title, but I think Regal's going to turn on Mox. That's what I think is happening. I think Regal turns on Mox. And helps MJF win the title. MJF said he's going to earn it on his own. He's going to win the championship clean. I don't buy a single word that comes out this man's mouth. This man is using them brass knucks. It's no coincidence. It is not a coincidence that the past few weeks on AEW television, we've seen more emphasis on William Regal and the brass. We've seen more emphasis on William Regal and the brass knucks. That is not a coincidence, folks. Tony Khan is not doing this shit on accident. It is not a coincidence. It is not a coincidence that when Jon Moxley was cutting his when Jon Moxley was cutting his promo last week, he had William Regal in the ring. He went. He said, I've stared into the devil's eyes. And before he said that, he looked at William Regal. Before he said that, he stared at William Regal. That's not a coincidence here, folks. It's not. It's not a coincidence. MJF is winning the championship, not because of the firm, but because of William Regal. Regal is going to turn on Mox. Regal is going to turn on Mox. MJF is winning the AEW World Championship here. Going up to this match, Regal talking about how he wants to see MJF have this killer instinct. And he wants to see MJF have this killer instinct. Or you're not the devil. You want to be the devil. Do something that a devil would do. That's what I think happens here. I think Regal's turning on MJF, and I think MJF's winning with the brass knucks. I think MJF is going to win this match with the brass knuckles, and he's spinning John Moxley in the clean. He's spinning John Moxley in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3, 1 year championships.
Wow. See, here's the thing. Does MJF really need a manager? I mean, this is MJF we're talking about.
He doesn't need a manager, but I'm gonna put it to you in this term. He doesn't need a manager, but think back to 2012. I mean, think back to 2012 when CM Punk was the WWE champion. Did CM Punk really need a manager with him? Really need Paul Heyman? Now, do you really need Paul Heyman back in 2012? We're talking about CM Punk. We're talking about CM Punk here. You know, despite of what personal opinion you may have of the man for what he did, go back to 2012. He really need a manager when he was by far the best in-ring performer in the company and the best man on the microphone in the entire. Did he really need Paul Heyman with him there to help? You know, did he really need Paul Heyman with him there a couple of promos? He didn't need it, but man, it served as a great luxury. That Heyman Punk combo from 2012, you know, that Heyman Punk combo from 2012, that was a great luxury. That was a great act. Instead, I think, MJF don't need no manager. Man, MJF and Regal on television together. Oh my God, I think that'd be money. I think that'd be great. I think that'd be money.
I don't know, man. Here's the thing. They've built months up with basically telling an underdog story with MJF. I never would I have thought that they would be telling an underdog story with a guy like MJF, who's mostly been hated throughout his entire AEW career, okay? People have hated this guy. And now fans love him. They're booing Moxley. They're cheering MJF. Moxley's not the babyface going into this match. Let's just call it the way it is. MJF's the babyface and Moxley's the heel. No one wants to see Moxley retain the championship. That would be stupid. MJF is the underdog, and Moxley's been saying it. I don't think you have it in you. I don't think you have the killer instinct in you. I don't think you have what it takes to carry the company and be a world champion. As an MJF coming over all the odds and the promo that he cut against William Regal. Would I be shocked if William Regal turns and joins MJF? Honestly, yes. Yes, I would be. I would be very, very stunned if that's the way we go off air Saturday night. Do I think that's going to happen? No. Honestly, I think this man should be Jon Moxley clean. If there's one result that I want, I just want to see him beat Jon Moxley 1, 2, 3. And then whatever happens, happens. I don't see him getting back with the firm. I don't see him getting back. I don't see him being with William Regal. I just think he's going to beat Moxley clean. 1, 2, 3. And then he'll go on to either face Ethan Page or Ricky Starks, which I'll take either at this point. At this point, facing Ethan Page makes sense. But as for Saturday, I'm taking MJF, and I don't think there should be any other result besides him pinning Jon Moxley 1, 2, 3.
That I agree with you, man. And the one thing that would kind of deter me from saying, the one thing where I could see AEW not doing the MJF Regal turn is that, let's say Jon Moxley takes his vacation, because man, he deserves one. Man, Jon Moxley definitely deserves one. Let's say Jon Moxley takes his vacation after Full Gear. Look at the AEW roster. MJF going babyface might be the best possible decision, because they're going to be in desperate need of a top. They're going to be in desperate need of a top babyface if you look at the roster. Hangman's out hurt. We don't know. Hangman's out hurt. We don't know when he's coming back. Omega's doing the trios thing with the Bucks. Omega's doing the trios thing with the Bucks. Danielson's working with Jericho to stretch him out. I mean, they got Eddie Kingston. They could always slide Eddie Kingston in there. But like that'd be like the one thing that would like kind of prevent it. That where I could see like them not doing it. Well, it would be because they would need a top babyface in that spot. You know, them turning MJF babyface and putting MJF in that spot wouldn't make sense. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Something about these promos he been cutting. And William Regal saying he's the devil. This in the third. The devil's the devil has his due, man. The devil. I think the devil's getting a new worshiper, and that man's William Regal. That's what I think.
Wes, do you have anything to add on this?
Man, I really don't think it's a bad idea if they do go the babyface route with MJF. I mean, I'd say you might as well. It's like I piggyback off what Cam said. I mean, who else do you really have as a top babyface for you if Moxley's leaving for 6 months? You know, like who else do you have really at this point? You know, I mean, MJF I think is the right choice, and you know, I'm with you, Joseph. I personally, in my opinion, I think it would just be best to just have MJF win clean over Moxley to really solidify himself as the guy of this company. Because I feel like if he used the same old dirty tactics and it would kind of came off in a way like a chicken shit heel, it wouldn't solidify him really as the top guy. I mean, I feel like him beating Jon Moxley, it would be that solidification for him and really confirm to everybody around the world that, you know, this is the dude that's carrying this company into the future. And I mean, you know, it's like the famous Ric Flair quote, man, to beat the man, or to be the man, you got to beat the man. And in this case, if MJF wants to be the man, he's got to beat the man, and the man is Jon Moxley, who holds that AEW World Title right now. And so I think MJF coming out with the babyface victory over Jon Moxley, and whoever ends up winning that tournament final, whether it's Ricky Starks, Ethan Page, I wouldn't mind either. I think it would make perfect sense for MJF to feud with a heel Ethan Page, who's a part of the firm. And obviously, the firm has been involved in all this too. I think that's a good way to be the first little feud there for MJF. But you got a lot of guys on that roster that you can feud with MJF. A lot of guys they can go to war with MJF on the mic that would give you some top notch feuds right then and there. So, but regardless of however it's done, at the end of the day, MJF is going to be the new world champion by the time the evening is over on Saturday night, man. And I cannot wait for it. It's been a long time coming, and this is the moment for MJF to solidify himself as the top guy and as the one of the greatest stars to hit pro wrestling in many years.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for your AEW Full Gear preview and predictions. I thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. Please subscribe to the Big Fight Fuel channel. I will be back right here after the Full Gear pay-per-view to break down everything that happened at the Full Gear pay-per-view from Newark, New Jersey. Comment down below. I want to know all of your predictions down in the comments. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from myself, Wesley Williams, and Cameron Johnson. Optional at this point. You can follow me on Twitter if you want. It might be getting shut down, but you can follow me on Twitter if you want to at Conlon_Joseph. But more importantly now, you can follow me on TikTok at Conlon_Joseph as well. Cam, plug your socials, my friend.
Well, again, at Twitter, if we somehow still had Twitter tomorrow, follow me on Twitter at Ken71101. If not, then just ignore that message. And Twitter go down, then you know the way to stay in contact with us.
Wes?
You already know. Follow me over on Instagram at The Real Wesley Snipes. You can also follow me on TikTok with the same exact username. Again, that is at The Real Wesley Snipes. And Joseph, go ahead and close out the review or the preview and predictions here, my friend.
Well, fellas, I appreciate you guys joining me here tonight. I hope you all enjoyed the pay-per-view on Saturday. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, man, stay classy. I'm out. Peace.